I'm dead.
Then I ain't leaving.
The scream didn't sound human. It tore across the Colorado frontier like a blade slicing the dawn open, bouncing between canyon walls until even the horses in far-off ranches jerked in their sleep. The sun wasn't up yet, just a bruised purple glow behind the mountains, but trouble didn't wait for daylight. Luke Arden knew trouble better than his own name. He pulled his horse to a halt near the riverbed, his hand drifting toward the revolver holstered at his hip. The early morning breeze carried dust, sage, and something else. Fear. High, desperate. A woman's voice. Luke clicked his tongue softly, urging his horse forward. The river made a long bend near the canyon, a place outlaws like to use for ambushes. Luke knew, because he used to ride with men who made ambushes a profession. That was a lifetime ago. Or maybe just yesterday. He rode faster. The scream turned into a sob. The sob into words. Please. Someone, please. Luke rounded the cliff and saw her. A young woman, maybe 22, stumbling barefoot across the rocks, her dress torn from branches, arms cut from running blind in the dark. She looked back over her shoulder like death itself was chasing her. Her name, he would later learn, was Evelyn Rook. But right now, she was just a terrified girl being hunted. Behind her, 3 riders galloped down the slope, firing warning shots. Not to kill her, no. To scare her into falling. To break her spirit before they took her. Luke muttered, "Damn." He didn't plan to be a hero. He'd spent years trying not to be one. Heroes died young in the West. Outlaws lived longer. Until their luck outran. But when Evelyn tripped on a stone and went down hard, something snapped inside him. Luke kicked his horse into full gallop. The outlaws noticed him too late. They turned, anger flashing across their bearded faces. One shouted, "Rider incoming!" Luke didn't slow down. He drew his gun in one clean motion, firing 2 shots so fast it sounded like one. The lead outlaw tumbled from his saddle. The second jerked his reins and veered away. The third aimed at Luke, but Luke fired again, knocking the gun out of his hand. Evelyn stared through tears as Luke jumped off his horse and knelt beside her. "Miss," he said, calm like steady rain, "you hurt." Her lips trembled. Don't let them take me." "I won't." She clutched his arm with surprising strength. "You don't understand. If they take me, I'm dead." Luke's eyes locked on hers. He understood fear. He understood running. He understood what it meant to have men stronger, faster, and crueler chasing you for something you didn't even ask for. "Tell me your name," Luke said. "Evelyn. Evelyn Rook." "Well, Evelyn Rook," he said quietly, "you're safe with me." The remaining 2 outlaws regrouped near the ridge, staring down at Luke with a mixture of recognition and fury. One of them shouted, "Luke Arden, we've been looking for you." Evelyn's head snapped toward him. You know them?" Luke didn't answer. He stood slowly, placing himself between her and the riders. The outlaw called down again. "Boss says hand over the girl, and if you do, maybe he lets you live." Luke sighed, rubbing his jaw. "Your boss still ugly as a burned boot?" The outlaw snarled, "Don't mock Bullock." Evelyn gasped. "Bullock? As in the Black Stampede riders." Luke finished. The color drained from her face. Luke holstered his revolver. "Tell Bullock if he wants her, he can come collect her himself." "You're a damn fool, Arden. He remembers you, and he wants you back." Luke's smile faded. His voice turned cold. "I ain't going back." The riders spat curses and retreated, disappearing into the canyon. Silence settled again, except for Evelyn's uneven breathing. She stared at Luke as if seeing a ghost. "You're Luke Arden," she whispered. the outlaw who disappeared. So they say. But you're helping me. He shrugged. Everybody gets a second chance, even me. But why me? Luke knelt again, brushing dirt off her elbow gently. Because you're scared, and honest folks shouldn't die scared. She bit her lip. They killed my uncle, she whispered. Bullock's men. They came looking for a ledger he kept, names, payoffs, murders they committed. They thought I knew where it was. Luke's heartbeat slowed, heavy as iron. A ledger like that could burn the whole gang to ashes. Do you know where it is? He asked. She looked down. Yes. That was all he needed. Luke stood, scanning the horizon. He knew Bullock. He knew how the man hunted. And he knew one more thing. Bullock never stopped. Luke helped Evelyn onto his horse. She winced when he touched her ankle. Sprained? He asked. She nodded. He lifted her gently. Lean on me. The pain'll pass. She hesitated, then whispered, You're risking your life for me. Why? He didn't answer first, because the truth wasn't simple. He used to ride with the stampede riders. He used to rob and steal and fight. He used to be Bullock's right hand, until he saw a family murdered for nothing but pride. Until he saw a young girl, not much different from Evelyn, screaming for mercy. Until he tasted the kind of regret that doesn't let a man sleep. Finally, he said, Because when I look at you, I remember someone I couldn't save. Evelyn's eyes softened. Your past? Someday, Luke said, I'll tell you the whole story. She rested her head lightly against his shoulder. Thank you, she whispered. He swallowed. Hold on tight. We ain't safe yet. The ride into the unknown. They rode north toward the abandoned trading post, the sky turning orange as the sun finally rose, bringing more danger with it. Behind them, Luke heard dust rise. Hoofpats. Many. Evelyn tensed. They're coming. Luke nodded. I hoped we had more time. But we don't. No, we don't. She gripped his coat. Luke, if they catch us, they won't. Not while I breathe. Luke's past returns. As they neared the canyon mouth, Luke felt the weight of old sins pressing hard against him. He had been Bullock's fastest gun, his most loyal rider, his deadliest weapon. Men died because Luke followed orders. Now, Bullock wanted him back, or dead. And Evelyn was just the bait. Luke tightened his jaw. Not again, he muttered. Not this girl. Not this time. Evelyn looked up at him. What did you say? He shook his head. Just thinking. But he wasn't thinking. He was preparing. Preparing for the war he'd spent years avoiding. The final moment before the storm. They reached the old trading post ruins. 4 broken walls and a collapsed roof. Not much protection, but better than open ground. Luke lifted Evelyn off the horse and helped her sit against a stable wall. She winced with pain. Luke, are we going to survive this? He brushed hair from her face gently, more gently than he meant to. I ain't letting you die, Evelyn Ruck. Her eyes softened. Before she could speak, a whistle echoed from the canyon, then another. Then 5 silhouettes appeared on horseback, the stampede riders. Evelyn's breath hitched. "Luke!" Luke stepped in front of her, drawing both pistols. "No matter what happens," he said quietly, "don't close your eyes. Don't give them the satisfaction." She whispered, voice trembling, "If you leave me, I'm dead." Luke glanced back and gave her a small smile, one that carried equal parts regret and promise. "Then I ain't leaving." And so the outlaw returned to the life he swore he left behind. Not for gold, not for glory, but for a girl who just wanted to live. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, drop a comment, and tell me where in the world you're watching from. Your support helps this Wild West channel grow, and the next episode is already on the way. If you want more stories filled with grit, courage, and heart, don't forget to subscribe.